If you haven't noticed, coal is soaring at the moment. So over $200 per tonne for Australian coal. And metallurgical coal is even higher, in excess of $400 per tonne. So these are above, way above all-time highs. Coal prices have literally skyrocketed. Now this could be due to a number of reasons. So China's unofficial ban on the Australian coal has created a lot of problems with the logistics of the market. There's a lack of investment in coal due to, obviously, it's not very green. So lower investment into coal. And also, apparently, it's going to be a cold winter coming up. So everyone wants coal to burn. Now, for power plants, obviously, not at home. Now, okay, so what are some good coal stocks? I've made some notes. Firstly, I like Teck Resources. However, they're not an ASX listed stock, so I'll be covering Teck in a completely different video. But okay, first of all, you've got Whitehaven Coal, which is trading at about $3.30, whereas in the past it's traded up as high as almost $6 per share. So it could certainly get back to that price if this rally continues, especially noting coal prices are way higher than they were when it was at that higher price. These guys are doing both thermal coal and metallurgical coal. So their next year, or even their next half year report should be very positive financially. I would certainly estimate. And they're doing a extension, Vickery mine extension. So that's going to focus a lot on metallurgical coal. So if you're a long-term investor, then you might consider Whitehaven for the Vickery extension. Otherwise, you're just going to sell it off when it gets near $6 or goes above it, if it does break out. Okay, now Terracom. I prefer Terracom, to be honest. That's perhaps one of my favourite ones that I've had a look at here. Although I haven't invested much in coal in general, because I'm more about the investing in the lithium and the copper and that sort of thing. But there's certainly a lot of potential to make some money here in coal, believe it or not. Especially with all that investments going into lithium and copper and green energy and all this stuff. Coal's been neglected and there's not enough output. So yeah, could be a great time to get into coal while it's rallying. So Terracom, okay, so they've recently done a mine life extension, added another 10 years to the Blair Atoll mine, and they're planning to produce 2 million tonnes per year. Coal's above $200 per tonne, but recently they've estimated that they're producing a cash margin of $100 per tonne. So that's about $200 million of earnings per year versus their $130 million market cap. So that's quite significant. It's a PE ratio of 0.5 or something crazy if the coal prices were to continue to stay at high elevated levels. So Terracom certainly can be one of the highest earning stocks here. So Whitehaven Coal, that is quite a high market cap, above 3 billion, whereas Terracom is much lower. So this is the one where you're going to get a lot of upside from the coal price, and especially with it having come down so much over time. With the low coal prices, now coal prices are skyrocketed. Hopefully Terracom can chase those coal prices up. Tigers Realm Coal, that's a interesting one, because Tigers Realm is in Russia. I get that? Yes, Russia, and so they're able to sell their coal to China, where you're getting a premium price for the coal, whereas Australia export to ROW, the rest of the world, is not getting that premium that China's paying, because China's had to source coal, especially metallurgical coal, from elsewhere. Now, the metallurgical coal in China is selling at some very high prices. I've seen up to $500 per ton for metallurgical coal. So obviously the margin on met coal is going to be very high. Now, Tigers Room is currently focusing on, is doing a lot of thermal coal, but their new focus is on metallurgical coal, and they've recently got in a lot of processing modules, and they should be bringing that met coal capacity online and ramping up in met coal. So, by next year, their financial reports should be very positive, I would imagine. It's hard not to be profitable, hard for them not to be profitable with these coal prices. Intra Energy Corporation, so now we're talking like, super high risk, crazy return sort of thing, because you're talking about a small African, like Tanzanian coal mine. Coal is one of their coal properties. So these are trading at a very, very low market cap. So obviously upside's huge, but they're not really making that much money off their coal sales. But the thing is, they're planning to get out of coal altogether. So if they can sell these coal assets off and divest them, this could be quite a lucrative deal, and it could send the share price sky high, basically. I don't have an estimate because obviously they haven't announced any sale or partnership with Tancoal so far. So it's hard to actually estimate. Now they're going to be focusing on other things like gold in Mozambique. Pretty speculative. So yeah, I don't really know about that one. Oztip Mining, again, they're not going to be making money from coal for quite a long time. But they have recently acquired are acquiring a met coal mining project with a defined metallurgical coal resource. So, if they can actually bring that into development, that would be very, very good for them. Their share price could certainly go up exponentially from its low 0.01 cent or whatever it is at the moment. And obviously they do have a tin mine. I would love them to actually work on their tin project. That should be their focus as well. They need to get that financed to get that running, because tin prices they're over 30,000. It's like $37,000 for tin at the moment. So they should be getting that tin mine up and running. I don't know why they're not trying to do something. That the project seems stalled, but management should try and get something happening there, to take advantage of these tin prices. They have a low grade deposit, but it should be well and truly feasible at these prices, and they could be making a killing. And tin's certainly a metal of the future with electronics, whereas coal, who knows, that could be substituted in the future with EAF, so obviously renewables, and in steel making, obviously you could be going to hydrogen and EAF and all those other routes that don't require metallurgical coal. So BHP also 10% or something of their revenue will be based on coal. So that's quite a small exposure. And I think there might have been one Montem. So I didn't write a note for that. Can't believe I didn't. But they're super high risk as well, because they're trying to build a coal mine in Canada. However, they're very environmentally conscious over there, because they've had a lot of selenium leakages from these coal mines into the rivers and killed all the fish and etc. So they're not happy about building coal mines. And Gina Reinhardt, her coal project up there in the Grassy Mountain, they didn't get a permit. Their permit got denied. so they're suing like Canada for a permit, you know, and it's all about the selenium pollution and the ways around that. So yeah, no, it's very hard to work out whether Montem is going to get a permit to mine their coal here or not. You know, very hard to say based on Canada's policies. However, you know, theoretically they should, in my opinion, because they're in a defined area where open cut mining is acceptable for coal, and also they're actually planning to. There was coal mining there in the past, so why not just mine it again? You know, they're trying to bring a new old mine back online, and take advantage of these higher coal prices. And they could go from there like $8 million market cap up to, if you look at their feasibility study, you know, the present value was something like over 100 million. So there's huge potential for Montem. They could be a 10 bagger at least if they were to get into production. You know, and and if the coal prices were to stay this high, then that project could be worth way more than 10 times. So Montem, potential 10 bagger. However, you know, it might just be worth waiting to see if they do get a permit from the federal review of their project. So it might just be a waiting game with Montem, see what happens. If they get the approval, then, you know, it could be a good investment if coal prices stay high. Although another thing to consider is, you know, is the grade of their coal that great? Seems good enough anyway, so, you know, they should be right. And they do have, if they can bring on this other mine that they've done a resource for, there's another deposit they've got, I think it was called Vickery or something, Vickery. Yeah, that one has premium grade hard coking coal. So yeah, that's another one to have a look at. There's probably quite a few more. I mean, I overlooked Yancoal. I'm not too sure about that one. I much prefer the upside potential of, say, Terracom. So no to Yancoal, yes to Terracom, and if investing in US stocks, then Teck. Yeah, I like Teck as well. They should definitely have good earnings coming out in the next quarter.